You know how most people think the ultimate sign of wealth is a flashy new Lamborghini? Well, the quietly rich know the real flex is owning the building the Lamborghini dealership is in and collecting their rent check every month. The biggest myth about wealth is that it has to be loud. But in this video, we're not just listing habits. We're going to look at the psychology behind the 7 things only the truly, quietly rich do, and reveal why their silence is their secret weapon. Have you ever met someone who just seems calm? They're unhurried, unbothered by the little things that drive the rest of us nuts. They don't flash their money around, but you can tell they're not worried about it either. If so, you've probably met one of the quietly wealthy. These are the people who've reached financial freedom without the fireworks. They figured out that real wealth isn't about showing off. It's about owning your time, your choices, and your peace of mind. Their whole strategy is a masterclass in psychology, focused on building a life of freedom, not just a lifestyle of flash. After studying the wealthy mindset for years, I've realized their habits aren't just weird quirks. They're a deliberate, powerful strategy. So, let's get into the 7 things they do differently, starting with the biggest one. They see time as the ultimate luxury. For most people, the whole point of money is to buy things. For the quietly rich, the point of money is to buy time. This is probably the most important mental shift you can make. They see time as something you can never get back, while money is just a tool you can always make more of. So, they will happily spend money to solve problems and make their lives more efficient. They'll pay for grocery delivery, hire a handyman for a task they could totally do themselves, or book a slightly pricier flight just to avoid a chaotic airport. This isn't about being lazy. It's about opportunity cost. They're constantly asking themselves, what is my time really worth? If they can spend a few $100 to buy back several hours of their life, they see that as an amazing deal. They can then reinvest those hours into their business, their family, their health, or learning something new. All things that build a much richer life than any fancy object ever could. The average person might spend their entire Saturday driving all over town just to save $50. The quietly wealthy person knows their Saturday is worth way more than $50. They see their calendar as a more valuable asset than their bank statement. This mindset is everything. They're not just spending money. They're buying back their life, 1 hour at a time. They practice an almost complete media and information diet. The quietly wealthy are masters of ignoring the hype. They don't chase the latest meme stock, the hot new crypto, or whatever trendy business idea is blowing up on social media. They often build their fortunes in boring, overlooked industries, like manufacturing cup holders or running a commercial cleaning service. They get a simple truth. Hype leads to emotional decisions, and emotional decisions are almost always expensive. They're incredibly picky about the information they consume. They aren't doom-scrolling on social media, comparing their life to someone else's curated highlight reel. They aren't glued to the 24/7 news cycle of financial panic and euphoria. This gives them a massive advantage. While everyone else is freaking out and reacting to the noise, they're just calmly executing a plan they probably made years ago. Think about it. Social media is literally designed to make you feel envious and like you're not enough. You see someone's exotic vacation, their new car, their perfect family, and it triggers that little voice in your head that says, I want that. The quietly rich protect their minds from this constant pressure. By staying off these platforms, or using them very selectively, they avoid the trap of lifestyle inflation that's fueled by comparison. They're not trying to keep up with the Joneses because they've intentionally moved to a different neighborhood, both physically and mentally. Their silence isn't just about being private. It's about protecting the mental space they need to think long-term. They weaponize invisibility. Most people, the second they get a little money, feel the need to show it. A new car, a bigger house, designer logos everywhere. The quietly rich do the exact opposite. They understand that being visible is actually a liability. It attracts attention, jealousy, people asking for handouts, and higher quotes from contractors. Salespeople, mechanics, even distant cousins, they all treat you differently when they think you're loaded. So, they choose to fly under the radar. They drive reliable, paid-off cars like a Toyota or a Honda instead of a flashy sports car. They live in nice, normal homes in regular neighborhoods, even though they could easily afford a mansion. Their clothes are high quality, but you won't see a brand name. It's the whole idea of stealth wealth. The real power move is not needing anyone to know you have power. This invisibility is like a suit of armor. It protects their relationships, making sure people like them for who they are, not for what they have. It protects their money, letting them get a fair price on things. And most importantly, it protects their peace of mind. There's a deep sense of security that comes from knowing your self-worth has nothing to do with what other people think of you. While everyone else is playing the game of external validation, the quietly rich have already won by simply refusing to play. Hey, if you're finding this look into the psychology of wealth valuable, do me a quick favor and hit that subscribe button. We put out videos every week that go beyond the surface-level stuff to really explore the mindsets that create true freedom. And if one of these points has really hit home, drop a comment below. All right, let's get to the fourth thing the quietly rich do. And this one really goes against the grain. They are deliberately frugal on some things to be extravagant on others. The quietly wealthy have a relationship with spending that most people would find bizarre. They can seem incredibly cheap about some things, and then turn around and be wildly extravagant with others. This isn't a contradiction. It's about conscious, value-based spending. They will ruthlessly cut costs on anything they don't truly value. They'll buy clothes off-season, use coupons at the grocery store, or drive the same car for 10 years. They don't see this as depriving themselves. They see it as moving resources around. Because they save so aggressively on the stuff that doesn't matter to them, they have a ton of cash ready to go for the few things that do. And what do they spend on? Things that actually mean something to them, experiences over objects. They might drop a fortune on a month-long trip with their family, hire a private coach to learn a new language, or buy the absolute best tools for a hobby they're passionate about. They might spend $5,000 on an amazing mattress because they value their sleep, or buy a perfectly tailored suit that will last a decade. The point is, their spending is intentional. They've figured out what actually brings them joy, and they spend on that without feeling guilty because they've been so disciplined everywhere else. They've escaped the trap of mindless consumption and replaced it with mindful spending. Their relationship with debt is fundamentally different. To most people, there's good debt, like a mortgage, and bad debt, like credit cards. For the quietly rich, the line is even clearer. There is debt that makes you money, and debt that costs you money. They are masters of using the first kind and absolutely terrified of the second. They avoid high-interest consumer debt like the plague. They know that a credit card charging 22% interest is a wealth-destroying machine running in reverse. They just don't buy things they can't afford, and they don't borrow money to fund their lifestyle. Period. However, they are not afraid to use leverage when it's smart. They might take out a loan with a low interest rate to buy an asset. They're confident will generate a higher return, like a rental property or a small business. They're using debt as a tool, not a crutch. The psychological difference is huge. One type of debt gets you status symbols that go down in value, tying you to a life of making payments. The other gets you assets that go up in value, building you a life of freedom. While some people see a giant mortgage on their dream house as a sign of success, the quietly wealthy are more impressed by a portfolio of smaller, cash-flowing properties. They keep their money talk private. One of the most important rules of the quietly wealthy is simple. You don't talk about money. They don't discuss their salary, their investments, or how much their stuff costs, not even with close friends. This isn't about being shady. It's a key part of their strategy for a peaceful life. Talking about money just invites drama. It brings comparison, judgment, and a ton of unsolicited advice. It can make relationships weird and create awkward dynamics. The moment you become the rich friend, there's an unspoken expectation that you'll always pick up the check. It changes the power dynamic in every single interaction. By keeping their finances to themselves, they get to have normal relationships. They can complain about the price of gas without someone rolling their eyes and thinking, "What are you worried about?" They can genuinely celebrate a friend's small financial win without it feeling insignificant in comparison. This financial privacy lets them move through the world without a filter, being judged for their character, not their bank account. It reinforces a sense of success that comes from within, not from the applause or envy of others. As they say, money talks, but wealth whispers. They don't react, they respond. Maybe the most telling trait of the quietly rich is how calm they are, especially when things get chaotic. When the stock market is crashing or everyone is talking about a recession, they don't panic. Why? Because they were already prepared. Their entire financial life is built on a foundation of resilience, not just risk. They have little to no consumer debt, several sources of income, and a long-term outlook that spans decades, not just a few months. This allows them to respond, not just react. A reaction is emotional and instant. A response is deliberate and strategic. While everyone else is panic selling their stocks at a loss, the quietly wealthy are calmly looking for buying opportunities. While others are stressed about losing their job, they have an emergency fund that could cover them for a year or more. This financial cushion buys them the ability to think clearly when everyone else is operating out of fear. This calmness goes beyond just money. They seem so relaxed and unbothered by small things, like a delayed flight, because they have the resources to solve problems without the stress. They have what experts call time affluence, the freedom from a frantic schedule and the mental space to just exist. This unhurried, relaxed nature is maybe the most visible sign of their invisible wealth. Conclusion. What's the ultimate secret of the quietly rich? It's this. They're playing a completely different game. While most of the world is playing a game of addition, adding more cars, more square footage, more designer logos, the quietly rich are playing a game of subtraction. Subtracting debt, subtracting stress, subtracting obligations, and subtracting the need to get approval from others. They've totally redefined what it means to be rich. It's not about having the most, it's about needing the least. It's about building a life that's so secure and so in line with your own values that you have zero desire to show it off. The ultimate flex is not needing to flex at all. True wealth is silent. It's the freedom to live life completely on your own terms, without anyone even noticing. If you made it this far, you're obviously serious about building this kind of life. As a final thought, ask yourself, which one of these 7 things could you start doing, even in a small way, starting today? Let me know in the comments by writing "quiet" and the one habit that really connected with you. Thanks for watching.